think that last word there, taunted, shows that the young man was simply talking out of some level of bitterness. And that language he's using is quite irresponsible of somebody who calls himself a leader and aide to presidential candidate. He could have made those valid positions without using those wrong words. That they need healthcare, they need education, they need clean sporting venues, they need transportation. All this. These are valid.
And security.
These are valid positions. But you don't tell a leader where to start from. When you talk about Abuja, the most important thing that comes to the mind of every Nigerian is the master plan of Abuja being implemented? Why? In 2022, there was a report that there was so much slum in Abuja and that indigenous population in some of the suburbs and satellite towns were selling some of the land illegally. Why wouldn't anybody who want to buy land use the proper approach, go to the land registry and then acquire land legally and ensure that it's acquiring land in the proper way? You know, that threat is quite counterproductive and I would describe it as irresponsible, not because we're talking about my former governor.
Well, not really talking about former governor of Rivers State.
Yes.
Of course, we know Chief Wike as a very proactive and dynamic person when it comes to project implementation and all that, especially implementation of government policies and plans. Now, from what I see so far, I want to see a situation, or I want to say that this man is only trying to distract the new minister. That's what I see. And again, he's talking out of bitterness. I don't know where that is coming from.
Exactly.
You know, because you cannot say the president is using you or wants to use you to sacrifice.
Yes.
Then two.
And he would teach him
that he should go for refresher course.
Exactly.
Then number three, that Abuja is not Port Harcourt. Abuja is not Port Harcourt, and then you see cow on the streets of Abuja, which is not supposed to be so. Now, we are also aware of flooding in some part of Abuja, FCT, which is also not supposed to be so. The reason is because people don't follow laid down plans, you know, how Abuja was planned originally. People are not following it again. You see they build houses on drains, build houses all around, and that is causing a whole lot of flood. I watched a program, an interview of somebody, the permanent secretary of Federal Capital Territory, before this administration came in. The man was lamenting about how people are selling land illegally, and the way people are building also are part of the reasons why we have flooding in some part of Abuja. You remember how many persons lost their life because of even properties, some estates, you know, were submerged and all that. So if Chief Wike has come and he's being sworn in, given the portfolio to be the FCT minister, it means that they recognize that he's a no-nonsense person and that he's going to, of course, implement the master plan.
And you require political will to do
and what if he has that political backing from the president, why not? Because probably what they don't understand is that Abuja is not like every other state where you can mess up anyhow. In fact, I hear that some cameras in Abuja now on the streets of they are not working, you know. These are some of the things that, but of course, it has to start from somewhere. I hear also that the former governor is also tackling rickety vehicles. You know, these are things to do to ensure that there is sanity. Abuja is the Federal Capital Territory, for crying out loud. So I don't know why he wants to bring this distraction. But I know that Chief Wike is not somebody you can distract.
No, and then I think that he was talking with some level of intimidation without knowing the person he was talking with. Somebody who held your master stand still, you know, and battled his master at Atiku. And over time, I'm sure, without joining words with them, some of the language there are very, very awful.
It's true.
That's not the kind of language a politician should use. And a statesman. Even Atiku would not use those words.
Atiku would not use it because he's a politician.
Is a gentleman.
And he's just a media aide.
Exactly. Atiku is a gentleman. He will not use those words. let me teach you humility. You are being bullish and all that. That's gives an impression of somebody who is bitter. And you cannot tell a man, as a media person, I'm not sure he's a trained journalist.
He may not be a trained journalist.
He may not be a trained, because if he were, there would have been a way to tell Governor Wike, no, sir, your approach is not the best approach. You are starting with infrastructural renewal. There are more useful things that will impact more on the people. Let's start with education. That's your choice. But I know that Governor Wike is known for his infrastructural renewal of Port Harcourt.
That's the truth.
Urban renewal. And it was one of the reasons why he was given that portfolio.
I think
because
so.
Abuja was in dire need of a leader with political will to change the narrative. People are dying. People are building on water right of way. Insecurity is rife because of some behavioral patterns. People doing things anyhow. Urban logistics is almost zero. And that is the federal capital today, the eye of the country. Cattle, roaming the streets, rickety cars all over the place, criminals looming large, and all that. And a man comes and says, no, some of your behavioral patterns encourage criminality.
It's true.
Some of your behavioral patterns encourage flooding, encourage a lot of illegality, uncompleted buildings where these people hide and all that. We are going to check all this and put the city in the right pedestal. And somebody is busy, rather than congratulate him and then tell him what he should do. Because all the ministers are talking, and we see some of them. And people are telling them, look, we are going to lay an agenda for you. This is what you should be doing. This is what you should be doing. With very, very decent language. But this one came with antagonistic disposition and foul language. Something that is not expected of any media professional.
No, he's not a trained journalist.
Yes, and not to talk about somebody who is an aide to a presidential candidate. That the Atiku is known to be a very humane person.
He is.
He doesn't use foul language.
Yes.
And so for him to have that kind of loquacious and garrulous aide is unfortunate.